So we can see in the chat box, participants have joined from Tamil Nadu, from Punjab, from Telangana, from Uttar Pradesh, from Maharashtra. Kindly mention your name, your school's name, and the city or the state in which the school is located. Chhattisgarh, teachers have joined from Chhattisgarh, Pune, Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, Jammu and Kashmir, again Pune, Uttar Pradesh, Kashmir, Pune, Punjab, Maharashtra, Bathinda, Haryana, Telangana, Himachal Pradesh, as of now, around 90 participants have joined. As per registrations, we have around 700 more participants who are supposed to join. So we'll wait for some more time and then we'll start. Karnataka, Baramati, Pune, Himachal Pradesh, Pune, Maharashtra, Bangalore, Karnataka, Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh. A diverse group of teachers have joined today's session. So teachers who have joined now, kindly mention in the chat box your name, school's name, and the city or the state from which you have joined. Sangli, Maharashtra. Good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon. Punjab, Pimpli Baramati, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh. So good to see so many teachers here. So participants are increasing now. Chennai. Okay, now we have moved to Chennai. Punjab. Jharkhand, wow. Teachers have joined from Jharkhand. That's my hometown as well. Great. Andhra Pradesh. Himachal Pradesh. Pondicherry. Haryana. Teachers who have joined just now, we are writing in the chat box our name, school's name, and the city in which the school is located, or the city from which you are joining. We'll start the session with a delay of 10 minutes because we are expecting a few more participants to join. Dhanbad, Tamil Nadu, Sangli, Pune, Jharkhand, Haryana, Ludhiana, Karnal, Haryana, Jalandhar, Punjab, Pondicherry, Chennai, Pune, Lucknow, Rajasthan, nice, Rajasthan, Mullanpur, Pondicherry, Dasia, Dhanbad, Hyderabad, Satara. A lot of teachers have joined from Maharashtra, it seems. Around 200 teachers have joined. Let's wait for 5 more minutes. Bilaspur, nice. I can also see some familiar faces as well. Sangli, Telangana. It's nice teachers are turning on their cameras as well. They know that after some time I'm going to ask them to. Teachers who have joined just now, in the chat box, we are writing our name, our school's name, and the city or the state in which the school is located or from where you are joining. Limb Satara, PV Sukhatmeo, nice. Lucknow, Uttarakhand. Teachers, along with your name and school's name, kindly write your city or the state as well. Pune again. A lot of teachers have joined from Pune and from Maharashtra. Punjab, Karimnagar. Okay, so by 3:40, we'll start the session. Just waiting for 4 more minutes. Let's see how many participants join by that time. And then we'll start the session. Meanwhile, I request everyone to kindly have your videos on so that we can start the session by looking at all these happy smiling faces. I can see teachers who recognize me are smiling. Okay. Great, just we'll wait for 3 more minutes. Let's start at 3:40. Meanwhile, let me start running my presentation on the screen. Varanasi, Karnataka, Kashmir, Pune, Odisha. Okay, great. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining today's session and joining from so many places around India. So it's great to see you all here. To start the session, let me introduce myself. A lot of you are familiar with me. I am Tanushree Sharma. With me in today's session, I have Mrs. Anusmita Mehdi as well, who would be the host of this session, and we both together are going to take this session. I would request Anusmita to kindly introduce yourself. So basically, we are from the product team in E-DAC, and we look after the research, training, and improvement and engagement in E-DAC Digital. Anusmita, I would request you to kindly introduce yourself.
Hello, teachers. So as Tanushri said, my name is Anushmita Mehdi. So I am into product team. So what product team basically does is they look into research. They research the pedagogy, how teaching can be improved. We also look into school improvements and the digital platform. So I hope to have a very engaging session with you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Anusmita. So to start the session with, and we would be taking the session in parts as well, so that we have introduced yourself so that you don't get confused later. So welcome you all in the session, National Education Policy 2020, Implementation and Implication. So before we start the session, let's look at some norms that we would be following in this particular session, so that we have a smooth session running on. Let's agree on few norms. I think the teachers who are familiar with know that if you agree with something, you have to show me a thumbs up. If you don't, you have to show me a thumbs down. So what we will be doing is we are going to stay on mute as long as possible, unless and until we are interacting, we are discussing, or we are answering something. We're going to keep our videos on. I can still see some teachers have not yet turned on the video. So I would request kindly turn on your videos. I'll give you 1 minute to do that. So teachers, kindly turn on your videos. Thank you so much. It would be the case that while the session is going on, you might have a lot of questions going on in your mind, but it might not be the right time to ask those. So kindly either keep noting down your questions and we can take them by the end of the session. We also have a form at the end in which you can ask your questions and we would roll out the answers to them. Otherwise, you can keep posting your questions in the chat box. So requesting you to not unmute yourself during the session and post all your questions in the chat box. There is an option of raising hand in the reactions button in Zoom. So while we are interacting, while we are discussing something, if you want to share your opinion, use the raise hand option and our team will be unmuting you so that you can respond. And wherever possible, kindly be interactive, kindly be participative. Even having your videos on would help us a lot and will give us a feel that you are being participative in the session. So teachers who agree with all these norms and if are going to follow these, kindly give me a thumbs up. Great, thank you so much. Requesting teachers to kindly turn on your videos. And those who have already done it, thank you so much. Okay. Moving on, let's understand that because NEP is in place since last year, so there are few things that we already know about NEP. There are some questions that we have about NEP that we want to know about NEP. So to start with, in the chat box, kindly mention just one or two things, anything that you already know about NEP. So what is it that you already know about National Education Policy? So can you please mention it in the chat box? Whatever it is, even can be a very little information that you already know about NEP. Kindly mention it in the chat box. NEP will streamline, just a moment, and standardize the education process across all state and central boards. 5+3+3+4 academic structure. Separation of arts, science, and commerce is not there. After 35 years, it's a revised policy of 1986. Different stages introduced. Structure is 5+3+4 according to NEP 2020. Competency-based learning. New education policy came in place after 34 years. Vocational training, future learning. Focus more on student concepts, art integrated. Divided into 4 parts and competency-based learning, collaborative. After 6, vocational training would be there in place. Can use mother tongue. More emphasis on vocational training. Competency-based, no subject barriers, parents training. Education in 5+3+3+4 years, revised after 34 years. Mother tongue. Students will start coding from standard 6. Multilingual approach, holistic development of students. Introducing vocational education. Great, nice, good to know this. We also did run out a survey. भाषा को महत्व दिया गया है इसमें, very nice. We did run a survey for NEP. You might have filled it while you were filling the registration form. And it's really great to see that around more than 70% teachers have given the correct answers. That means that we are already aware of few of the reforms that are there in NEP. Let us quickly see what were the questions that were asked and what were the responses of the teachers. So the first question was that after how many years national education policy has been accepted? So it's after 34 years, government unveiled new education policy, bringing a number of reforms. And 71% teachers have given the correct answer here. Then according to NEP, the current 10+2 system is to be replaced by 5+3+3+4 structure. Again, around 89% of teachers have given the correct answer here. According to NEP, at what age would a child formally start his or her education? It is now 3 years. We'll discuss more about it. And 77% of teachers have given the correct answer here. What would be the primary medium of education as recommended by NEP for the first 5 years? It's mother tongue or local language. Moving on. Learning should be holistic, integrated, enjoyable, and engaging. 94% teachers have given the correct response. Vocational education will start from grade 6. Assessments of students will be done through multidimensional report. In NEP, there is no separation in curricular or extracurricular. The ability to read and write and perform basic operations with numbers is a necessary foundation. And this is an urgent thing that NEP is looking at. Every student will attain foundational literacy and numeracy by grade 3. 80% teachers have given this answer. In NEP, teachers are at the center of fundamental reforms in the education system. Here, there is a gap. Only 70% teachers have given the correct response. What is CPD? It is continuous professional development. Okay, so this is what we already know about NEP. Even if we did not know, now we are aware of all these things in NEP. But now, as you have joined today's session, a lot of registrations came for today's session. Around 750, more than 750 teachers have registered. That means there is something that you still want to know about NEP, know about the National Education Policy. So what is it that you want to know about NEP? That is something that you are eager to, understand about NEP. So what is it that you want to know about NEP 2020? What is it that you're expecting out of today's session? In the chat box, you may go ahead and mention that. Anything that you want to, be briefed about. So what is it that you want to know about NEP by the end of this session? Or any questions that you have on NEP that you want to be cleared out by the end of this session? Is it for all boards, overall summary of NEP? Teachers' qualification and caliber level of education. This academic year, it will be applied or next year. Okay, ma'am, I would request you to please write it in the chat box for now. Challenges for teachers and how to overcome. What as a teacher need to learn more? Ijlal sir, can you please mention it in the chat box if you can? Because we are going to park these questions and then move ahead with the session, just to understand by the end if we have covered all this or not. What as a teacher need to learn more? Other teachers, what is it that you're expecting out of the session? What are the advantages for teachers NEP without B.Ed? Okay. When it will be applied, what challenges teachers may be facing? What are the advantages? Is there really requirement of NEP at this time? Are books going to be changed? Okay, let's take one more minute. Exam pattern, how to apply NEP for the children. Okay, implementation of NEP, 30 more seconds. Kindly type your questions. What are the guidelines for teachers according to NEP? The government aims to make schooling available to everyone with the help of NEP 2020. Okay, in India, the craze, in India, the craze of English medium schools are very high, especially in grade B towns like Moradabad. Regardless of knowledge, people are more impressed by English. How does NEP deal with this? Okay. COVID situation plus new policy to implement. What will be the evaluation process? Will the overall curriculum followed? Okay, I just missed the question. Followed will be same. Okay. How to cope up with the experiential and competency-based learning. For that, we need to first understand what it is. How would we know each and every change in educational policies? Okay. Okay, so we are going to stay with these questions for now. And by the end of the session, we'll just see if all these questions were answered, if we have an understanding of this or not by the end of this session, and what did we come out after the session. Now to start with, we need to understand first what exactly is NEP, how did it come into place. So National Education Policy, as we say, the Union Cabinet approved it on 29 July 2020. And after a gap of 34 years was this policy change came into place. 1986, there was already a policy which was called National Policy on Education, NPE, which was further modified in the year 1992. But a major improvement in this policy was made in year 2009 when Parliament passed an act, Right to Education Act. Now talking about NPE, that is National Policy on Education, the major focus of this policy was access and equity. Access being availability of education and equity mean fairness of education. Fairness, which is very important as a country like India, we have a diverse population, and that's why fairness was something that we were focusing on there. Now, NEP is access and equity is still there, but the major focus in NEP is the quality of education. So a major shift has been done, and keeping in mind the quality of education that is going to be improved. Now, talking about quality of education. So earlier, what the education, how we looked at it was school, then scores, then grades, the content, the curriculum. Now, the shift has been made to the holistic development of the child. And that's the major shift that we are looking at in NEP. So now with the whole experience of education is going to change for a child. More importance will be given on holistic learning, skills, application, pedagogies. So there will be a major shift in all these things in NEP 2020. Like while mentioning this, I want to mention that this batch of teachers who have joined today's session and maybe around, you are the first batch actually who is going to implement NEP, who is actually going to make this shift of change in education system. And that's why we need to actually embrace ourselves to accept this change. I know there is a lot of confusion going on, a lot of debate going on. Why NEP? Was it really important? We are going to look at it, if it was actually important or not, and if it actually is going to benefit the teachers and the students or not. But before that, we need to actually accept this and we need to embrace this. This is something that is going to bring a major global change in teaching aspect, teaching learning. Now, again, coming back here, to implement NEP, a framework has been designed for school education and for higher education as well. For today's session, we are only going to look at school education. We are not going to touch higher education because we are dealing with schools right now. We are in school. Okay. Now, the major change that has been done is there is a shift in the curriculum now. The pedagogical structure has changed. Let us understand that. A lot of teachers already know about it. So what is the existing curriculum structure, academic structure? It is 10+2 system that we have been looking at. This 10+2 structure, it is like a continuum in which, from grade 1 moving to grade 3, 5, 6, 10, the textbooks are increasing, the content is increasing, but there is no change in pedagogy that is happening. The same style of teaching is going on and on and on. However, a lot of changes we as teachers have made, but as per the formal structure, this has been like a continuum. Now, the new academic structure looks somewhat like this. This has been broken down and has been developed in a 5+3+3+4 structure. Pehle it was 12 years. Now it is 15 years. How it is 15 years? Because the 3 years जब बच्चा प्री स्कूल में था, आंगनवाड़ी में था, बाल वाटिका में था, we already have preschools in place, but that was not the part of the formal structure. Now the government has taken it into the academic structure as a formal aspect of teaching learning. Now we have foundational stage. It starts at grade 3, that means, age 3. 3 साल से बच्चे स्कूल में जाना शुरू कर देंगे. Formal education now will start at age 3. पहले क्या था कि आपने प्री प्राइमरी नहीं भी पढ़ा है तो भी आपको ग्रेड 1 में एडमिशन मिल जाएगा. Now the schooling will start from age 3, either in Anganwadi or in a preschool or a Balvatika, depending on the region. Then grade 1 and 2 will be 2 years of the foundational learning. अब foundational learning में क्या होगा? The students will be playing a lot. There will be activity-based learning, and ये multi-level है because पहला 3 years बच्चे pre-primary में है and then 2 years foundational learning कर रहे हैं. Then we'll move to preparatory. At the age of 8, this child will move to preparatory stage and will stay there for 3 years, for age 3 till age 5. Here the learning is more inquiry method is being used, exploration is being given more focus on, discovery based is giving more focus on. The child has to learn to be more inquisitive, to discover their own truth. So this is the major focus that is in the preparatory stage. So interactive based classroom learning hoga, discovery based teaching hogi. So all this will be there till the age of 11, that is grade 5. Now as the child is moving to the middle stage, that is in grade 6, यहाँ पे बच्चों को formally subject focus start हो गया. So subject focus will start in grade 6. Subjects are already there, but major focus की experiential learning in science, maths, arts, social science and humanities will start in grade 6. Now major focus in grade 6 to 8, like from starting to grade 6, will be on the interconnectedness of the subjects. Very basic example is कि music can be related to maths, confectionery can be related to chemistry, then literacy can be taught via geography. So kaise all these subjects are interconnected is something that will be given more focus on in the middle stage. One major change that has been done in the middle stage is from grade 6, regular vocational education opportunities for the child will start. However, it is also mentioned in the document that from grade 1, what is vocation will already start introducing that to the child in any form. Like in the school only, the child is doing gardening, the child is doing pottery, he is doing cooking, any format of activities the child is being introduced to, but formally it will start in grade 6 and it will be compulsory for a child to engage in any other vocational courses. Now, why is it important? You can see, let's take a very basic example, Master Chef. So there is junior Master Chef as well. In junior Master Chef 6 saal ke bache, 6 years of age, they are actually coming and cooking something. So what is happening there is the child has some competency that he has acquired. क्यों? क्योंकि he had time outside the classroom to work on these skills, and that's why इसको इतना importance दिया गया है vocational learning को in middle stage. and it will also be done by open distance learning mode. Plus a very nice thing here introduced is कि vacations के time पे बच्चों को internship opportunities भी दी जाएंगी. So that is a very nice thing. Now, when the child is moving to grade 9. So when he is moving to grade 9, now the child is going to decide about his career. He will be needing career counseling. Slowly and slowly he'll start looking at subjects and choices, and these choices will be of the child alone. यहाँ पे क्या होगा, multidisciplinary approach will start here. What is it? Is earlier we had streams like science, arts, commerce, and आपको उसी stream के वही subjects पढ़ने होते थे. Now the child will have the choice that he can select any subject that he is interested in. If he likes history, if he likes political science, if he likes accounts, and he likes physics, he can go ahead and learn these 4 subjects. There is no foundation that you have to follow a particular stream. So there is a lot of flexibility that has been given to the child in secondary grades. Now a question is ki, as some teachers had already asked in the question, was it necessary? Why this change? So as I already mentioned before as well, पहले क्या होता था, बहुत ज्यादा फोकस दिया जाता था ऑन स्कोर्स, बच्चे कैसा स्कोर कर रहे हैं, ग्रेड्स कितना आ रहा है, टॉपर है कि नहीं क्लास में, एग्जाम्स में कैसा परफॉर्म कर रहा है, एंड बच्चे ने स्किल अक्वायर की है या नहीं, बिकॉज इन द रियल वर्ल्ड स्किल इज समथिंग दैट ही इज गोइंग टू यूज, एंड दैट इज व्हाट द स्कूल्स or the education system was not focusing on. Here the child will be actually developing himself holistically. Second reason is, I will back it with some data here. This is ACER Report 2021. You can see here year-on percentage increase in child's ability to read at least standard 2 level text. You can see for standard 4 it is 10.3. For 5, it is 14.5, which is actually declining. For grades 6, it is 14.6. Grade 7, it is 15.5. Grade 8, it is 13.7. And this is actually the data जो ACER प्रथम फाउंडेशन के थ्रू ACER एक रिपोर्ट निकालते हैं, प्रथम फाउंडेशन एक रिपोर्ट निकालते हैं एवरी ईयर, जहाँ पे around the country they take samples from different states and then they analyze these samples, and you can see the gap here. Standard 2 level, we are not even discussing the grade level, we are discussing at each grade standard 2 level का text बच्चा पढ़ पाता है या नहीं, and this is a huge gap. Why is this gap here? Because what happens now is grade 1 से grade 2 में बच्चा चला जाता है, grade 2 से grade 3 में चला जाता है, and no remediation is happening. बच्चे का base clear नहीं है, and he is moving up in the academic structure, and which increases the learning gap for the child. What happens then? बच्चा fail होता है, बच्चा drop out करता है स्कूल से, because he is not able to cope up with the academic structure that is already there. You can also see here over 70% children in class 3 do not have basic reading and arithmetic skills. So this is something because of which this change was necessary. अब अगर हम यहाँ फाउंडेशनल स्टेज को ही बस देखें, फाउंडेशनल स्टेज में इतना इंपॉर्टेंस दिया गया है, 5 years, like every other structure you can see it is 3 years, 4 years. Foundational years, these are 5 years, जहाँ पे even in grade 1 and 2 urgency में foundational literacy and numeracy को importance दी गई है. I'll also discuss about that in the upcoming slides. हम बहुत ज्यादा फोकस कर रहे हैं कि बच्चे का फाउंडेशन सही है या नहीं. Take a very simple example. I think all of you would be aware of this example is whenever we are constructing a building, first thing that we do is lay the foundation of the building. If that is in place, the entire building is going to stay there for long, and no matter what hurdle comes, it will stay put. So that is why this shift, this change was compulsory, was necessary in the academic structure. And this is something जो हमको globally हमारे academics को, हमारे education को बहुत अच्छा दिखाएगा. Now we are still talking about foundational years. So foundational years में focus दिया गया है early childhood care and education, that is learning in the formative years. Here a lot of focus is being given on a child acquiring life skills. Life skills, developing curiosity, logical thinking, problem solving, self-identity, ethics, etiquette, behavior, emotional development, teamwork, collaboration. You might say now कि why at the age of 3 years, like 3 years में बच्चे ये सब सीख कर क्या करेंगे? So just a very simple statement, developing curiosity, logical thinking, problem solving, these are not just skills, this is a lifestyle. अगर बच्चा जितनी जल्दी ये स्किल्स अक्वायर करेगा, उसको आगे जाकर के उतनी ही इजी आसानी होगी टू कोप अप विद द लाइफ चैलेंजेस. And all these skills are actually interconnected. So if we say developing curiosity, so a child will be asking a lot of questions. Let's first understand about how this will be in place in early childhood education. So a lot of importance is given on playway and activity-based teaching learning here in formative years. To understand that, what does a child actually want to do in the age group of 3 to age group of 5 or age group of 7? They want to play outside with their friends. They want to build something out of anything. They want to listen to stories. So this is what a child actually wants to do. They do not want to go to school and study. So why not bring that environment in the classroom, wherein the child is playing, the child is listening to stories, he is working with different objects and yet learning something out of it. So जब बच्चे questions पूछते हैं, when they are asking questions, their curiosity is increasing, their logical thinking, problem solving is improving. When they are working with their peers, आपस में games खेल रहे हैं, play based game कर रहे हैं, discovery based learning is there, teamwork and collaboration is there, ethics is there, etiquette, behavior and emotional development is there. And out of this, the students are involved in arts, craft, music. When they're out and about, they are building up a relationship with nature. They're learning about colors, shapes, alphabets, and numbers. So all these things are being the major focus in the early childhood care and education. Now, how to actually impart this in the child? अब हम प्री प्राइमरी में एक ही बार में बहुत सारे इंफॉर्मेशन बच्चों को थ्रू नहीं कर सकते. So we need to take it as themes. Suppose if हमने एक दिन theme लिया है color, तो हम all these activities we are doing in the classroom based on the theme color only. The child is learning, he is doing teamwork, collaboration, he is learning about himself, he is building etiquette, behaviors, he is doing art, craft, music, everything but with the theme of color. तो हमने कलर सिखा दिया बच्चों को. Then next time हम shapes में enter कर रहे हैं, तो everything we are doing all these activities keeping in mind the theme shape. तो हमने बच्चों को shape सिखा दिया. And the child is not उसे पता भी नहीं है and he is coming out learning something in the classroom. In early childhood education, there is a confusion as well. A lot of teachers have been actually asking us that it is said that first 5 years हम examination conduct नहीं करेंगे. So if you are not conducting examination, how are we able to understand if the child is ready for the preparatory stage or not. Let's understand this. We are not going to conduct any formal examination, that is, there will be no marks, no grades, but we will still be assessing the child on age appropriate competencies, on skills, oral examination के through, by noticing them, by observing them, कि ये सारे competencies उनमें आ रहे हैं या नहीं आ रहे हैं. So this is what we will be assessing the child on in the early childhood care and education. Still being at that, next 2 years हमारा foundational stage का आता है grade 1 and grade 2. Grade 1 and grade 2 में बहुत importance दिया गया है on universal acquisition of foundational learning skills by grade 3. So here I have added a tweet of Ministry of Education और उन्होंने कहा है, attaining foundational literacy and numeracy for all children will become an urgent national mission with the highest priority of education system to achieve universal foundational literacy and numeracy in primary schools by 2025. So this is something जो utmost importance रखता है right now. In simple, very simple words, foundational learning skills क्या है? When the child is moving to grade 3, the child should be able to read 30 to 35 words per minute with comprehension. He is able to write. He is able to perform basic mathematical operation of 3-digit sum, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and he is acquiring basic life skills. तो ये जो हमने skills के बारे में बात की, तो basic life skills he is acquiring by grade 3. So already we have discussed a lot. We have discussed about how this policy came into place, what is the major focus in this policy, then what is the new academic structure, क्या क्या उसमें importance, किस चीजों को importance दी गई है. Then we have seen the early childhood care and education, कैसे themes को ज़्यादा importance दिया जाएगा, skills को ज़्यादा importance दिया जाएगा, and foundational literacy and numeracy. Now let's stop. We don't want to bombard with you with a lot of information at just a single point of time. Let's stop and think, what is something that stood out to you? Whatever we just discussed till now, anything that stood out to you, that you're eager to see, looking ahead to something, anything that stood out to you. In the chat box, you can respond. No grading till grade 2. No grading, we need to understand this. No grading does not mean कि हम बच्चों को assess नहीं करेंगे. We will still be assessing them in the age appropriate competencies. अब जैसे foundational literacy and numeracy है, how will we say that the child has attained foundational literacy and numeracy? Because we will be doing some kind of assessment by grade 2, some kind of, to just see if the child is moving in the right direction or not. Students selecting their subjects, no exams. Teachers do not focus on no exams. Schools can conduct their own assessments, age appropriate competencies पे. What ways to assess the students? हम आगे देखेंगे. How to teach in regional language if the teacher does not know language? Yes, we'll discuss on that as well. Indian education can be competent with other education system out of India. Very nice, Meher ma'am. 35 words per minute for class 3 reading. Versatility of subject choosing versus old system of streams. That is something even I am very happy to know about. I just wish this was something that was there in our times. Like I did not choose science stream because I was not good in physics and I had to choose commerce, and I regret it a lot. Develop the curiosity. Let me see how there are around 360 teachers and I'm getting responses from only 8 to 10 teachers. I would request everyone to share what stood out to you. Vocational development, flexibility of curriculum. Okay, let me have 2 to 3 teachers, speak about it. Teachers, you can raise your hand using the reaction button and I'll unmute you. There is a reaction button. Kindly raise your hand, choose the option of raising hand, and I will unmute you. We'll have 3 responses. Kindly raise your hand and I will unmute you. There won't be a learning gap in English language if foundation level will be in mother tongue. We'll discuss about it. Ye mother tongue ka confusion will be discussing on it. Anyone who wants to speak, please raise hand using the raise hand option reaction button. I will unmute you. Internship program is appreciable. Improve basic pronunciation in English. Yes, Meher ma'am, you can unmute yourself.
Yes, hello everyone. This is Meher Fatima. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Very happy with actually the NEP program, what is being planned. This actually had to come long way before, I guess so. Because Indian system, I feel it is nowhere competent right now with the education outside of India. But I do agree, no denying in that it is a very strong system of education here in India, because many of the foreigners or many other students come to India to study because you have a huge competition here. The competition is just when you come up to a higher grade level, wherein after PUC or after 10th standard. But the competition is not seen in the lower grades. They just casually take it, and where the foundation is not so good. And yes, as you said, Tanushri ma'am, that the level of understanding, the level of reading skills has come down to a vast level. I do agree. For all this NEP program is really good if it works efficiently and it is up to the target. I do agree if it is there. And a huge support is needed from the parents as well, because there will be a vast change. And just worried about is, will there won't be any English language learning skills? How are they going to cope up? How do we have to cope up starting in mother tongue and then coming up to English language and making them to that level where they are up to the mark in English language? That is a little worry. Other than that, alhamdulillah, it's really a very good policy, which had to come long back, I guess, or as I suggest.
Thank you so much, Meher ma'am, for sharing.
Yes,
yeah, a lot of questions around this is coming in the chat as well, wherein teachers are asking about this English and the mother tongue conflict. Teachers, NEP में ऐसा कहीं नहीं लिखा है. It is nowhere written that English, you're not going to go ahead with English. I'll understand this I'll help you understand this concept of mother tongue. It's like when the child is coming to school very first time, he's only equipped with his mother tongue or the regional local language, and that's why in the very beginning of his schooling, that is just the first year or the half of the first year, आप उसको इंस्ट्रक्शंस दे सकते हो, आप उसको कॉम्प्रिहेंड करने में हेल्प कर सकते हो इन मदर टंग, but always remember in which language you are going to conduct the examination, even going ahead. And that's why English is something that we are not going to leave behind. Mother tongue is just for a support for a child to understand and comprehend. It is not something that is a requisite, a mandate. You are still going to teach in English only to support your teaching. Mother tongue concept has been introduced. Is it making it clear? It is nowhere written in NEP. It is something that is, is coming across, but people are actually not addressing this. That it is nowhere written is that आप English में नहीं पढ़ाओगी. You're still going to teach in English. In, maybe very rural areas or in phases जहाँ पे पॉसिबल नहीं हो रहा है या जहाँ पे बच्चों को आपको कॉम्प्रिहेंशन के लिए थोड़ा सपोर्ट देना है, तब आप मदर टंग यूज करेंगे. एंड द अप्रोच ऑफ मल्टीलिंगुअल, आई विल हेल्प यू अंडरस्टैंड दैट एज वेल. मल्टीलिंगुअल अप्रोच इज introducing an Indian language to the child. And there was a question that if you don't have a teacher, mother tongue teacher, it is also going to be and I don't know the term. State will also help schools hire a language teacher. So that is also something that is being looked on to teach any Indian language to the kids. I hope that is answering the question. Will parents accept this? With time? With time they will. Okay. Now, yes, as Khushbu ma'am is also saying, mother tongue can be used only to make the students comfortable. Always remember, आपको exams conduct English में ही करना है, and that's why English has to be your focus. Just to let students connect to the subject when mother tongue is used. Great. Okay. Now we just looked at why this change has been done, क्यों NEP place में आया है, and why all these things, why all these changes and everything. Let's understand how we are going to implement this in our classrooms, in our school. For how, major change that has been done